Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Be sure to hit that like button, comment your thoughts below, subscribe to the channel, and hype this video up because what we are uncovering today is going to completely shatter the internet. Have you ever looked at a celebrity who claims to have a completely paid-off mansion, music, absolute financial freedom, and millions sitting in the bank only to realize that their entire life is a beautifully constructed house of cards? What if I told you that the legendary self-proclaimed Claressa Shields has been spinning a web of luxury lies so deep that even the bank is starting to sweat? We all saw her flexing on The Breakfast Club, music, looking right into the cameras, bragging that rapper Papoose is out here covering her entire life, paying her mortgage, her car notes, her insurance, and her luxury flights. She stood there telling the world that her generational curses are broken and that her massive $700,000 mansion is fully paid off outright because she is worth a cool $8 million. But honey, the math is officially not matting. What if the public real estate records reveal a completely different, heavily leveraged story? What if that multi-million-dollar net worth is nothing but internet fiction, and she is actually drowning in a bank loan while mixing herself up with a married man who owes nearly $1 million to the IRS? Grab your popcorn because today we are pulling back the curtain on the ultimate celebrity financial illusion. Stay tuned because Claressa Shields' luxury home story is about to be officially exposed. Let's completely pull back the curtain on this absolute circus and dive straight into section 1 because we need to properly introduce the sheer scale of this celebrity scandal. When you look at Claressa Shields, you are looking at someone who has built an entire persona around being an elite, untouchable, self-made powerhouse. In music, she is a two-time Olympic gold medalist, an undisputed champion in the boxing ring, music, and someone who constantly demands respect from the entire world. But there is a massive difference between being a champion in the ring and being a champion of truth in the real world. Recently, the controversy surrounding her has reached an absolute boiling point, music, and it is not because of her athletic performance. No, it is because of the toxic, hypocritical, and completely chaotic narrative she is promoting all over social media and mainstream media platforms. For months, people have been watching her behavior online and whispering about the cracks in her armor. She started out her career presenting herself as this humble, God-fearing, grounded woman from Flint, Michigan who wanted nothing more than to lift up her community and represent her hometown with dignity. But as the old saying goes, if you want to test a person's true character, give them a little bit of money and a little bit of fame. The very second she touched a significant amount of money and felt the warmth of the Hollywood spotlight, that humility completely evaporated into thin air. Once she touched that money, it seems she completely forgot about God, forgot about the community that raised her, and forgot about the basic moral code that keeps a society together. Now she has transformed into someone who spends her days attacking other legendary black women, like Layla Ali, creating unnecessary internet feuds, and setting a horrific example for the young black girls who look up to her. But the real drama started when she decided to go on The Breakfast Club and brag about her highly questionable relationship dynamic with the rapper Papoose. For those who don't know, Papoose is still legally married to the rap icon Remy Ma, and they are currently undergoing an incredibly messy, public, and financially entangled divorce. Yet there was Claressa sitting on a national platform smiling from ear to ear, telling the entire world that Papoose is her manager and that he pays for her mortgage, her car note, her car insurance, and every single luxury flight she takes. The moment those words left her mouth, a collective gasp went through the entire community. Why? Because the mainstream media, the celebrity influencers, and the Hollywood elites completely failed to maintain a moral code. They refused to call out this blatant promotion of adultery and broken marriages. Music. They sit there and laugh, celebrating the destruction of family structures while independent investigators like myself are left to do the actual dirty work. I am tired of the lies, and I am tired of these celebrities treating the public like we are completely stupid. Music. They want us to wear rose-colored glasses, accepting wrong behavior as right and right behavior as wrong. But that is not happening on my watch. If the mainstream media won't give you the facts, I will. And let me make this very clear from the jump. Everything we are discussing today is based on public information, deep digital digging, and independent analysis. So, if a document cannot be 100% verified by a court of law, it is strictly alleged. But let me tell you, the alleged evidence we have uncovered paints a picture of financial desperation, fraudulent lifestyles, and a massive net worth lie that is about to come crashing down on both of their heads. The biggest issue here is that Claressa is out here screaming from the rooftops that her house is completely paid off, that she broke the generational curse, and that she did it all with her alleged $8 million net worth. But when you actually analyze her real estate history, the math immediately falls apart, and it reveals a dynamic that is deeply concerning. If you look at her early days in Michigan, public records indicate she owns about 2 or 3 smaller homes in the Flint area. Now, let's be totally fair and look at this realistically. Those homes in Flint were purchased years ago, long before she ever crossed paths with Papoose. Those houses are currently being used as rental properties, music, and because real estate in certain parts of Flint can be acquired for incredibly low prices, it is highly likely those homes don't even have a mortgage on them. Papoose is absolutely not contributing to those properties, and those aren't the homes she was bragging about on television. The home she is talking about, the luxury property that she claims is her crowning achievement, is a completely different beast altogether. At one point in her social media history, Claressa proudly posted a picture of herself standing next to her then-fiancé, the R&B singer Tony Rich. In that picture, they are holding a giant sold sign in front of a beautiful, expensive luxury home. She led her entire fan base to believe that she and Tony bought this home together, or that she bought it outright to secure her future. But behind the scenes, rumor, music, has it that the relationship was built on a foundation of clout-chasing and exaggerated finances. When that relationship inevitably failed and Tony Rich walked out the door, Claressa was left holding the bag on a property that carries a massive financial burden. This brings us directly to the core of the financial illusion she is running today with Papoose. If Claressa Shields genuinely possesses an $8 million net worth, as all these celebrity gossip websites love to claim, then why on earth did she take out a massive bank loan to secure her current $700,000 luxury mansion? Music. Let's use some basic common sense logic here. $700,000 is a lot of money to the average working class citizen. But to someone who allegedly has $8 million sitting liquid in the bank, $700,000 is absolute pocket change. If you have millions of dollars, you do not walk into a banking institution and sign up for a 30-year mortgage, subjecting yourself to hundreds of thousands of dollars in high interest rates, unless you simply do not have the liquid cash to buy the property outright. The fact that there is a heavy mortgage on this property proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Claressa does not have the liquid wealth she claims to have. She is heavily leveraged, meaning she is surviving on bank loans and credit, while trying to maintain the illusion of an elite, high-end celebrity lifestyle. And because she cannot comfortably afford the monthly payments on a $700,000 home along with her expensive tastes, she has allegedly brought in Papoose to act as her financial savior. She is out here protecting a married man, letting him pretend to be the wealthy, dominant breadwinner who takes care of everything, while the reality behind closed doors is an absolute financial nightmare. What makes this an absolute catastrophe is the fact that Papoose is the last person on earth who should be paying anyone else's mortgage. While he is online parading around in designer Gucci and Louis Vuitton outfits, wearing massive diamond-encrusted watches, and flaunting expensive gold chains, public investigative reports suggest that he is actually drowning in a massive sea of debt. According to leaked financial documents and public tax records, Papoose allegedly owes over $800,000 in back taxes to the Internal Revenue Service for multiple properties that he failed to pay off over the years. Think about the sheer insanity of that situation for a single second. You have a man who owes nearly $1 million to the federal government, meaning the IRS can step in at any given moment and legally seize his assets, his bank accounts, and his properties. Yet, this same man is allegedly flying around the country, booking oceanfront luxury suites at Venice Beach, taking Claressa to high-end restaurants, and paying her monthly mortgage notes. How is a man who is actively avoiding a massive federal tax mean somehow finding the disposable income to fund a secondary luxury lifestyle for a woman who isn't even his legal wife? It makes absolutely no sense, and it points to a massive coordinated effort to misrepresent income, hide assets, and live a completely fraudulent lifestyle for the sake of social media clout. This entire situation is creating an incredibly dangerous precedent because it shows a complete lack of and a total absence of a moral code. Claressa is not some naive, uneducated little girl who got tricked by a smooth-talking industry veteran. Her fans love to come into the comments section and defend her honor, claiming that she is young, that she doesn't know any better, music, and that she is just looking for love. Stop the absolute lies. Claressa Shields is a grown, able-bodied, music, highly successful woman who has negotiated multi-million-dollar fight contracts, traveled the world, and won multiple world titles. She knows exactly what she is doing. Everything she is doing right now is entirely intentional. She is actively choosing to engage with a married man whose own marriage is in shambles due to intertwined tax debts with Remy Ma that exceed $1 million. She is choosing to alienate herself from the black community by promoting a lifestyle that celebrates the breakdown of a marriage, all while hiding behind a fake veil of financial independence. She wants to be used, she wants to be exploited, and she is actively playing the role of a financial trick, refusing to be saved by grace, by God, or by the community that genuinely cared about her before she got a taste of the Hollywood money. The facade is cracking, the records are public, and as we transition into the next layer of this investigation, we are going to break down the exact fake reports, the anonymous industry insider leaks, and the jaw-dropping public reactions that are currently pushing this entire scandal into absolute chaos. As we slide directly into Section 2, the plot doesn't just thicken. It completely boils over into an absolute financial wasteland of leaked reports, music, anonymous insider whispers, and explosive public backlashes. If Claressa Shields and Papoose thought they're neatly manicured social media pages were enough to keep the truth buried under a mountain of designer logos, they completely miscalculated the power of the internet and public financial records. Over the past 72 hours, the world has been hit with what can only be described as a catastrophic wave of leaked documentation that shines a blinding investigative spotlight directly onto the dark underbelly of their alleged partnership. Anonymous sources close to the situation, individuals who move quietly within the very same circles as Papoose, Remy Ma, and the entire New York hip-hop elite have started singing like canary birds, and the tune they are singing is exposing a level of lavish, reckless spending and financial deception that is almost hard to believe. According to these highly confidential music inside reports floating around the industry, the narrative that Papoose is just a wealthy, generous king acting as an independent manager for an elite athlete is a complete and total fabrication. The real story, according to an anonymous industry insider who allegedly worked closely with Papoose's management team during the height of the tax disputes, is that this entire arrangement is nothing more than a highly calculated financial shield designed to keep money completely out of the reach of the federal government and the ongoing divorce courts. The anonymous source explicitly stated that when a man owes nearly $1 million to the IRS and is simultaneously trying to untangle a heavily indebted, multi-million-dollar marital estate with a woman like Remy Ma, he cannot legally hold massive amounts of liquid cash in his own traditional bank accounts without the government or the divorce attorneys immediately freezing it. So, what is the alleged solution? You find a heavily leveraged, fame-hungry partner who is desperate for a male figure to fund her lifestyle. You structure an incredibly lucrative, completely inflated management contract, and you funnel massive sums of disposable, under-the-table cash into her real estate assets under the guise of paying her mortgage and car notes. In return, she acts as your public validator, screaming to the world that you are a rich, successful, high-rolling provider while your real life is drowning in federal tax liens and structural poverty. The insider went on to quote a shocking conversation that allegedly took place behind closed doors, claiming that Papoose openly admitted to his inner circle that as long as the cash is tied up in a property deed or a mortgage note under another person's name, especially an elite athlete with a completely different legal entity, the IRS cannot easily touch it. And it keeps his reported income looking completely depleted on paper for the divorce proceedings. Music. When these leaked reports hit the internet, the public reaction was an absolute tidal wave of fury, disgust, and pure amusement. Social media commentators, longtime boxing fans, and hip-hop purists immediately swarmed the comment sections, completely tearing down the wall of lies that Claressa has been trying to protect. One viral public comment that gained tens of thousands of likes summed up the entire sentiment perfectly, stating that Claressa Shields went from being the absolute pride of Flint, Michigan, to acting as a financial placeholder and a side chick for a rapper whose career peaked 20 years ago. Another user wrote a scathing review of the situation, pointing out the unbelievable hypocrisy of her entire platform, saying that she spends all her time online lecturing other women about integrity, throwing endless shade at legendary figures like Layla Ali, and pretending to break generational curses, while her own luxury lifestyle is actively being subsidized by a married man who hasn't, music, paid his taxes since the Obama administration. The memes have been relentless, the public backlash has been brutal, and yet, despite the entire world laughing at the transparent nature of this facade, Claressa and Papoose have doubled down on their delusional, high-end content creation. Instead of addressing the very real, very alarming financial discrepancy of a $700,000 mortgage on an alleged $8 million net worth, they have gone on an absolute spending spree of defensive vanity. They have been aggressively posting video clips of themselves walking through high-end boutiques, dropping thousands of dollars on Gucci and Louis Vuitton bags, and documenting their beachfront getaways to Venice Beach. They want the world to look at the crystal-clear water, the private gym sessions, the massive kitchen islands, and the balcony views, thinking that we are going to be blinded by the glitter. Music. But what they don't realize is that to a trained investigative eye, this level of over-the-top aggressive flexing when your finances are being questioned is the ultimate sign of structural panic. It is a classic psychological defense mechanism known as overcompensation. When you know the foundation of your house is completely rotting away, you paint the walls with gold leaf so nobody looks down at the floorboards. But let's talk about the sheer corruption of power and influence that is happening here. Mainstream media outlets and popular celebrity influencers have completely failed to hold these people accountable because they have no moral code and absolutely zero integrity. They invite Claressa onto these massive radio shows and podcast platforms, allowing her to promote adultery, validate broken marriages, and lie about her real estate portfolio without asking a single hard journalistic follow-up question. They completely ignore the fact that Papoose and Remy Ma have an intertwined toxic debt of over $1 million that has completely paralyzed their divorce court proceedings. The reason that divorce is completely stalled in the legal system right now isn't because of a lack of love. It is because neither party can figure out how to settle a $1 million IRS bill without completely liquidating their assets. And while his legal wife is battling the financial fallout of their broken marriage, Papoose is allegedly utilizing Claressa's $700,000 mortgage as a personal luxury tax shelter. Think about how incredibly toxic this is for the young women who look up to Claressa Shields as a beacon of female empowerment. She has won 2 Olympic gold medals, conquered the world of professional boxing, and achieved a level of athletic dominance that very few human beings on this planet will ever touch. She had the world at her feet. She had the ability to show young girls from impoverished communities like Flint that you don't need a man. You don't need a rapper, and you certainly don't need to step into the middle of a messy marriage to live like a queen. But instead of walking that path of righteous empowerment, music, the very second she touched a little bit of Hollywood money, she threw her moral compass completely into the garbage can. She chose to align herself with the very worst elements of celebrity clout culture. She is actively choosing to be a financial trick, allowing herself to be exploited and used as an aesthetic shield for a man who is running away from a massive federal debt. The leaked documents also suggest that the IRS has already caught wind of this highly suspicious lifestyle layout. Federal investigators aren't stupid people. They monitor social media just like the rest of us. When an individual claims on paper that they have no disposable income and cannot afford to pay off an $800,000 tax lien, but then appears on national television and viral social media videos funding a beachfront lifestyle, purchasing designer luxury goods every week, and paying off a $4,000 monthly rent and mortgage note for a world champion boxer, it triggers immediate red flags within the federal audit system. Word on the street is that a specialized financial probe is already quietly being assembled behind the scenes to look into the exact flow of capital between Papoose's management entities and Remy Ma's real estate holdings. They want to see the receipts. Music. They want to see the wire transfers. They want to know exactly how a man with 0 recorded personal assets, but a massive federal debt, is somehow acting as the primary breadwinner for a woman who claims to be worth $8 million. As the public backlash continues to intensify, Remy Ma's fan base has completely fractured. The rational, clear-thinking followers have packed their bags and left, completely disgusted by her behavior and her constant internet attacks on other black women. The only fans she has left are the ones who wear thick, rose-colored glasses, completely willing to accept wrong behavior as right and right behavior as wrong just to defend their idol. They want us to believe that this is all a narrative spin, that we are just hating on a successful black woman, and that Papoose is just a perfect gentleman. But the public facts, the leaked insider reports, and the mathematical reality of her financial leverage do not lie. You cannot hide a $700,000 bank loan behind a fake $8 million net worth slogan forever. The tension is building, the clock is ticking, and the entire celebrity house of cards is shaking at its foundation. And as we transition smoothly right into the third and final section of this massive investigation, we are going to look at the immediate legal fallout, the impending government interventions, the financial ruin that is staring both of them directly in the face, and the final reality check that Claressa Shields will never be able to run away from. Moving smoothly from that chaotic public backlash right into Section 3, music, we are now entering the absolute danger zone where the fake internet flexes stop and the freezing reality of the legal system begins. This isn't just about people laughing at her in the comment section anymore. This is about real structural catastrophic fallout that could completely dismantle whatever is left of Claressa Shields' career and Papooses' remaining reputation. When you play games with the federal government, when you lie about your income on national platforms, and when you try to hide a massive luxury lifestyle behind a web of leveraged mortgages and fake management contracts, the legal system will eventually catch up to you. And right now, the whispers behind closed doors indicate that the legal fallout is going to be absolutely brutal. According to legal experts who specialize in high-profile celebrity divorces and federal tax fraud, the statements Claressa made on The Breakfast Club didn't just entertain the gossip blogs. They basically handed a loaded gun to Remy Ma's divorce attorneys. Music. Think about it realistically from a courtroom perspective. Papoose and Remy Ma are currently locked in a vicious legal battle over an intertwined marital debt that exceeds $1 million. For months, Papooses' legal team has allegedly been telling the divorce court that he is financially strapped, that his income has completely depleted, music, and that he cannot afford to pay off his portion of the $800,000 IRS tax lien without severe financial hardship. But then, his alleged client and romantic partner goes on a massive media tour bragging that he has so much disposable excess cash that he is out here paying her $700,000 mortgage, her car notes, her insurance, and her luxury flights. You better believe that Remy Ma's lawyers immediately ordered a certified transcript of that interview to present directly to the judge. In the legal world, this is what they call a textbook admission of hidden assets. Music. The divorce court is now allegedly preparing a massive, sweeping subpoena to audit every single bank account tied to Papooses' management company. And if they find that he has been funneling under-the-table cash into Claressa's real estate deeds to keep it away from his legal wife, he could face severe penalties for perjury and asset concealment. But the divorce court is only the tip of the iceberg. The real monster lurking in the shadows of this luxury home story is the Internal Revenue Service. If you owe $800,000 to the IRS, you are essentially living on borrowed time. The federal government has a specialized criminal investigation division that does nothing but monitor the public spending habits of individuals who claim they have no money to pay their back taxes. Music. When a tax debtor is seen online living a high-rolling lifestyle, wearing thousands of dollars in designer clothing, buying diamond watches, and aggressively funding a secondary luxury household for a world champion boxer, it completely shatters any chance of negotiating a settlement. Leaked rumors from inside the financial community suggest that the IRS is already preparing to place a federal tax lien directly onto any property where Papooses' money can be traced. This means that if federal investigators can prove that even a single dollar of Papooses' hidden income was used to pay the mortgage note on Claressa's $700,000 mansion, the government can legally step in, freeze the title, and seize the property right out from under her feet. Imagine trying to brag about breaking a generational curse on Instagram, only for the federal government to come and paste a foreclosure notice right on your front door because your married boyfriend forgot to pay his taxes. The financial crisis radiating from this situation is already causing massive waves of panic within Claressa's professional circle. For an elite athlete, your brand reputation is your entire livelihood. Corporate sponsors, major boxing networks, and athletic brands do not want to be associated with an athlete who is actively entangled in a messy, fraudulent tax evasion scandal involving a married man. Industry. Insiders are already whispering that several major endorsement deals Claressa was quietly negotiating for the upcoming year have suddenly been put on ice. Corporate executives are looking at the public backlash, the allegations of financial deception, and her toxic internet feuds with legendary figures like Layla Ali, and they are choosing to completely distance themselves. Her entire financial infrastructure is built on the illusion of that $8 million net worth. But if the bank decides to call in her loans due to the high-risk nature of her legal entanglements, she could face an immediate liquidity crunch. She does not have the liquid cash to survive. A prolonged legal battle and a corporate boycott at the same time. She is over-leveraged, under-supported, and running out of options. And where is Papoose in all of this? The man who claimed to be the ultimate provider and the genius manager is reportedly in complete damage control mode, realizing that his attempt to use Claressa as a luxury tax shelter has completely backfired. His entire career has been built on the image of hip-hop loyalty and street integrity. But this scandal has exposed him as someone who is allegedly manipulating a young clout-hungry woman to protect his own crumbling finances. The public backlash against him has been so intense that there are reports his own music and business associates are starting to resign from his upcoming projects, refusing to be dragged into a federal financial probe. The house of cards is shaking. The assets are being scrutinized. And the entire high-end lifestyle they spent months fabricating on social media is about to dissolve into a sea of legal fees, court judgments, and public humiliation. This entire situation brings us to the ultimate moral of the story. You can lie to your fans, you can lie to the media, and you can even lie to yourself, but you can never lie to the math. Claressa Shields had the talent to build a real, legitimate, unshakable legacy. She could have actually broken generational curses through clean, independent, transparent success. But instead, she let her vanity, her desperation for fame, and her obsession with a fake luxury lifestyle lead her right into the arms of a financial disaster. Music, which brings me straight to my dramatic conclusion. Because the truth can no longer be hidden under a pile of Gucci bags and expensive beachfront videos. We have laid out the raw, unadulterated facts of this entire celebrity illusion. We have looked at the public real estate records that expose her massive mortgage debt. We have analyzed the leaked insider reports detailing Papooses' $800,000 IRS tax nightmare. And we have witnessed the complete collapse of their moral code on national television. So now I have to ask all of you the real provocative questions that the mainstream media is too terrified to touch. Do you truly believe that Claressa Shields is an innocent, naive victim in this situation? Or is she a calculated accomplice who completely knowingly entered into a fraudulent lifestyle to protect a married man's hidden cash? Do you think the IRS is going to step in and seize her $700,000 luxury mansion before the year is out? And how can she ever fix her mouth to talk about integrity and attack other black women online when her own household is built on a foundation of debt, deceit, and adultery? I want all of you to go completely crazy in the comment section below. Don't hold back. Give me your raw, unfiltered thoughts on this absolute mess. If you are tired of the celebrity lies, if you are tired of the fake net worth stories, and if you want to see actual accountability in this community, make sure you smash that like button right now. Comment your theories down below. Share this video with everyone you know, and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned completely on, so you never miss the next breaking truth. Hype this video up. Stay vigilant. Do your own independent research. And I will see you all on the very next investigation.